So we begin this hour in Johannesburg because the Money Summit is taking place at the Sandton Convention Centre today. It's expected to bring together finance and investment leaders to discuss investments in the current environment, to evaluate the economic outlook and assess global and local risk while exploring the future of finance and accounting. Distinguished speakers at the summit include Deputy Finance Minister David Masondo, the SARS Commissioner Edward Kieswetter, amongst other leading economists. Watching those developments for us is Katlego, Legodi, who joins us now live from the Sandton Convention Centre. And this is the kind of summit we don't always hear about, Katlego. Perhaps you can break down for us what people who are attending are hoping to walk away with.
A very good morning to you, Ayanda, and to our viewers at home. Well, we are seeing already those conversations being held before they break into these sessions as they talk and put the economy at the center of what has been happening over time. You know very well that the economy has faced structural challenges and presented as an impediment to growth where various of these sectors are concerned. And we see investors, we see entrepreneurs, we see financial institutions as well, just here alongside government and SOEs as they try by all means to try and push for actionable insights where then the growth of the economy is concerned. Just in the second quarter of the year, we saw 0.4% of that economic growth, and they're saying that it's not enough, as we also just see a lot of people unemployed. Most of those men and women are suited up. They're already here and ready to go into these conversations. Just on my right, you see that there's the JSE. On my left, there is MoneyWeb, and all of those side sessions that will continue as we see delegates also stream into the Sandton Convention Centre this morning. I'm going to bring into the conversation one of those guests who's here with us, who'll just give us a sense of your expectations here. We're seeing that really when you look at it, Mr. Shukwambana, there's a lot that the economy has been experiencing over time. And I guess you had expectations coming here around these honest conversations on why then we find ourselves here and how can we move and ensure that there's growth of the economy that will come through for companies, that will come through also for the people on the ground that are waiting with expectations. Welcome to the SABC. We find you here. Why are you here?
Thank you, Katlego. I'm here because, like any patriotic South African, I also run a company that is looking at working with many companies and obviously with our people to find solution to some of the intractable problems facing us, to unlock growth, because with growth then you create employment, and small businesses are at the heart of growing any viable economy. And we have seen that our government, since the post this election, are trying to fix many of those intractable issues, i.e. What we are seeing now at Eskom. We've not had load shedding, and now trying to fix Transnet. It may seem like, you know, those are big companies, but they impact the daily lives of many of us who need them to transport goods and also to run the businesses, because you need reliable electricity for any investor to come into South Africa. And at the moment, you are seeing those green shoots coming up. I saw even with the DTIC, the Minister of Trade and Industry is now advertising all of those positions that have not been vacant for many years. You know, there's still no DG in that department, and the IDC, which is key to making sure that they can fund many of our businesses, has not had a CEO for almost a year or longer. So those are the things that we are imploring our government to work with business, and we've seen that, but also with labor, to make sure that they all come together, and the social compact that they keep talking about means that there's a trade-off in terms of giving and taking. And I think today's conversations are about getting the economy to be at the center of the agenda of this new government. And we saw with the state visit in China last week, and also with the Minister of Department of Mineral Resources being in Australia, trying to attract investors to come to South Africa to revive our mining industry that has been also battling for many years.
Where do you think the potential for growth lies, looking at the economy? I mean, you hear people saying there have been deep-rooted issues that will have to really be confronted honestly, so we rejig the economy so it comes, you know, through for our people. It's been 30 years and we haven't moved the way that we should move. Where do we see this growth coming from, according to you, in terms of where we come from and looking at the future?
Well, I think growth will only come, as I said earlier, with creating a conducive environment for small businesses to be able to function, reducing red tape, allowing people to get those opportunities that we talk about, i.e. trying to access procurement opportunities in the private sector as well as in the public sector, and not allowing, what we have seen, which is corruption that has been eroding those, being a big issue. And I know with government and business, they've had 3 work streams. One, looking at the crime and corruption, which is the extortion that is happening and affecting a lot of small businesses. So we need, government to work hand in hand with everyone to make sure that we change that face of business where it's difficult to run a small business because you are afraid that you're going to be robbed and also you're not safe. So creating a viable in the country is about making people feel safe. You don't have such issues in many countries. But in South Africa, crime has become an issue that affects all of us, whether you're rich and poor. So I think if we sort the crime issues out and the corruption that is pervasive in many of our sectors, where people have to pay for people to do what is rightfully to just run your own business, I think that will be one of the issues. But obviously creating a conducive environment so that people are paying the taxes that they're supposed to and they're not cutting corners, because if they don't cut corners, they can't survive. So we need more entrepreneurs to come on stream, people to not only believe that they have to be employed to make a contribution to this country, because if you create more small businesses, research has proven that's how you grow an economy.
Melanie, thank you very much. Are you optimistic, though? Are you optimistic that really, with all of these concerted efforts, joint heads, we will at least come through on the other side?
Well, I have to be optimistic because I don't have another passport and I can't move to another country. My children need me to still make this country work. But I think all of us need to put our heads together and work together and stop, finger pointing. I think the spirit that this new government of national unity is trying to show that both white and black can work together is a step in the right direction. But also working with all the parties to create this where we are all centered around fixing this economy and fixing, the issues that have been for the last 30 years causing us not to grow or not to move to the potential that South Africa has. Because as this country, we are the gateway to the continent, and with the free trade agreement we keep talking about, if we can't fix South Africa, there's no way growth will come. We need to get our house in order for investors to come, for sectors that need investment to show that they can work, that they are viable. And people only come to where there's rule of law and consistency in the way how we apply our policies and eradicating corruption in its many facets.
Mielani, thank you very much, sir, for giving us your time. Mielani Shikwambana coming through there as the CEO of Thandi. So really optimistic about this, but you hear him talking about a conducive environment that will ensure that at least there's growth of the economy. Today we'll see them discussing and putting the economy under the spotlight, savings and investment in room 9, financial planning as well, and in room 8, the JSE as well here. And you've mentioned that the ESCOM board chair will be here. Edward Kieswetter from SARS will be here, and we're expecting some of those speakers to start flowing into the Sandton Convention Centre to form part of this 2024 Money Summit. Ayanda?
All right, Katlego, Legodi seems to be a very important gathering there. We'll certainly keep watching it with you as it continues to unfold. Katlego Legodi is live to us from the Sandton Convention Centre in Johannesburg.